Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. The Vieux-Fort, Saltibus, Lafargue, Montrouge and Bexar Wellness Centers have been closed for retrofitting from the 6th of December 2018 under the Smart Health Facilities project towards safer, greener and more sustainable facilities. Retrofitting works are near completion and it is expected that Saltibus, Lafargue, Montrouge and Bexar Wellness Centers will be reopened for services mid-July 2019. Health services continue to be offered as follows. For residents from Lafargue and Montrouge, they can access services either at Eaton's Wellness Center or Soufriere Hospital. For residents from Saltibus, they can access services at the Labrie Wellness or Vieux-Fort Wellness Centers. Residents from Bexar can access services at Ciceron, Vanna or Castries Wellness Center. The Vieux-Fort Wellness Center is expected to be completed and ready to offer services in August 2019. In the interim, clients of the Vieux-Fort Wellness Center are reminded that its services have been relocated to the Burrell Building located on Clark Street opposite the Ideal Bakery. In other news, Canada this week joined a growing group of nations that have outlawed the capture and imprisonment of dolphins and whales. Under the recently passed Free Willy Bill, dolphins and whales in Canada will soon be guaranteed their freedom from captivity when it becomes law at the end of the month. The bill also outlaws the captive breeding of whales, dolphins and porpoises. Former Senator Wilfred Moore of Nova Scotia, who introduced the measure, formerly known as the Ending the Captivity of Whales and Dolphins Act, said that phasing out the animals' captivity was a moral obligation. But it is not governments only who are taking action to ensure freedom of these intelligent, sociable sea creatures. Increasingly, airline companies and the cruise industry are turning their backs on this inhumane practice, and tourists who are becoming increasingly environmentally conscious are advocating for freeing Willie. In other news, a new move is being touted as a chance to further extend the services of the Consumer Affairs Department to the general public. And now for an update on the operations of the Consumer Affairs Department, let's join Jacques Hinkson-Compton.
The Consumer Affairs Department, or CAD, has moved from the 4th floor of the Heraldine Rock Building, Waterfront Castries, to the Abraham Building at the corner of Miku and Coral Street. The new office is set in the heart of the nation's capital, which means greater accessibility for the public, as well as a more holistic approach to consumer protection. Director of the Consumer Affairs Department, Guillaume Simon, says the move helps facilitate the department's growing scope of work and responsibilities to the public.
The department has evolved, and it was felt that consumer affairs needed to be more in the city center, where it would have catered to the consuming public, the needs of the consuming public.
Throughout its existence, the department has promoted consumer rights and interests through policy guidelines and appropriate legislation. Through the CAD, consumers can seek redress from businesses which have not acted in accordance with their consumer rights.
The public can expect greater expediency in terms of addressing consumer complaints. The public will have more direct access to the department, and the offices of the department. And I believe that the public will be able to, again, have their concerns heard by a department of a trained cadre of professionals.
The department is continuously evolving. It is hoped that over time, the CAD will become more familiar to the public in turn become more empowered, and with that power, create an equilibrium between consumer and provider. From the Ministry of Commerce, International Trade, Investment, Enterprise Development, and Consumer Affairs, I am Jacques Hinkson-Compton reporting.
Now let's join Rochelle Gonzalez for an update of the Department of Education's pre-kindergarten screening exercise.
The Department of Education, through the Special Education Unit, hosted the annual Pre-Kindergarten Screening Exercise, PKSE, on Thursday, June 13th. During the exercise, preschoolers expecting to start kindergarten in September were engaged in simple activities designed to allow them to demonstrate school readiness skills. In 2018, 40 receiving schools were targeted and a total of 557 children were screened. This year has recorded an increase as a total of 63 schools will be participating and the number of children to be screened is expected to be significantly higher. Dale Segis, who is an education officer for special education, said the main objective of the exercise is to identify children at risk for underachievement at school as early as possible and to deliver relevant support services to address their needs.
This is an activity for children who are in preschool, in the last year of preschool, and who will be in kindergarten in September. What we're doing is a series of activities conducted by trained teachers. These activities will help children to demonstrate skills that they have. Now, what we're looking for are skills that are typical to children who are 4.5 or 5 years old, which is the age at which children are entering kindergarten. We are expecting that most children will demonstrate these skills very easily. But what we are also looking for are those children who are not on par with those skills that are expected for that age.
The exercise is a learning experience for all involved when it comes to the proper placement of students at such a tender age.
The goal is, when we identify these children, to communicate that information to the kindergarten teacher who will receive these students so that that teacher can start to give support to these children as early as possible. This is an exercise that started nationally in 2014, but we have introduced it not in every school because we know that we have some lessons to learn about the implementation of it. So we started on a small scale to learn those lessons at a smaller scale level so that as we learn them, we are increasing the number of schools. This year, we have almost 100% of schools with kindergarten classes participating. Next year, we expect that it will be 100% participation.
Students were also screened to ensure that they were up to date on all their required vaccinations. A second exercise is scheduled to take place on Wednesday, the 19th of June. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. Tennyson Glasgow is up next with all the sporting action.